Seamlessly migrate from GitHub to AWS CodeCommit, a step-by-step guide. This podcast is brought to you by Business Compass LLC. We are an Amazon Web Services advanced consulting partner. We build and migrate workloads to Amazon Cloud. Our website is businesscompassllc.com. Our phone number is 973-638-2228. Our email address is contact@businesscompassllc.us. Migrating your code from GitHub to AWS CodeCommit can be a game changer for your development workflow. AWS CodeCommit is a secure, scalable, and managed source control service that lets you privately store and manage your Git repositories in the cloud. This podcast will walk you through migrating from GitHub to AWS CodeCommit, ensuring a smooth transition and highlighting the advantages of CodeCommit. Introduction to AWS CodeCommit, your secure code collaboration hub. AWS CodeCommit is designed for developers who need a reliable and secure repository for their code. Unlike traditional Git services, CodeCommit integrates seamlessly with other AWS services, offering higher security and control. With CodeCommit, you can store code securely. All repositories are encrypted at rest and in transit, ensuring the highest level of security for your codebase. Collaborate efficiently. CodeCommit supports standard Git functionality, allowing your team to collaborate easily on projects. Integrate with AWS services. CodeCommit integrates with AWS services like Code Pipeline, Code Build, and Code Deploy, streamlining your C/CD workflows. Preparing for migration. IAM user setup and AWS CLI configuration. Preparing your AWS environment is essential before migrating your repositories. Start by setting up an IAM user with the necessary permissions for CodeCommit. This user will interact with CodeCommit using the AWS CLI. Create an IAM user. Go to the IAM console in AWS and create a new user. Assign the AWS CodeCommit full access policy to this user. Generate an access key and secret key for CLI access. Configure AWS CLI. Install the AWS CLI on your local machine if you still need to. Run AWS Configure in your terminal and input your IAM user's access key, secret key, region, and output format. Test the setup by running AWS CodeCommit list repositories. Creating your CodeCommit repository, a home for your code. Now that your IAM user and AWS CLI are set up, the next step is to create a repository in CodeCommit, where you will migrate your GitHub code. Create a repository. Open the CodeCommit console and click Create Repository. Name your repository and add an optional description. After creating the repository, note down the HTTPS or SSH clone URL for future use. Clone the repository locally. Use the AWS CLI or Git to clone the empty repository to your local machine. Example command, git clone https://git-codecommit.regionamazon.com/v1/repos/repository name. Mirroring your GitHub repository, a local copy for seamless transfer. To ensure a smooth migration, you must mirror your existing GitHub repository locally before pushing it to CodeCommit. Clone your GitHub repository. Clone your GitHub repository using the command git clone mirror https://github.com/username/repository.git. This command will create a bare repository that mirrors all branches and tags from GitHub. Add CodeCommit as a remote. Navigate to your mirrored GitHub repository and add CodeCommit as a new remote. Example command, git remote add CodeCommit https://git-codecommit.regionamazon.com/v1/repos/repository name. Pushing to CodeCommit, migrating your code to the cloud. With your local repository setup, the next step is to push your code to CodeCommit. Push to CodeCommit. Use the following command to push all branches and tags from your mirrored repository to CodeCommit. Git push CodeCommit all. Then push all tags using git push CodeCommit tags. Monitor the push process. Depending on the size of your repository, this process might take a few minutes. Ensure that all branches and tags are successfully transferred. Verification. Viewing your files in CodeCommit. After pushing your code, verifying that the migration was successful is crucial. Check repository contents. Open the CodeCommit console and navigate to your repository. Browse the files, branches, and commit history to ensure everything is intact. Validate branches and tags. Use the AWS CLI or the Git command line to list branches and tags in your CodeCommit repository, ensuring they match your original GitHub repository. Beyond migration, leveraging AWS CodeCommit's features. Now that your code is in CodeCommit, you can take advantage of its robust features to enhance your development process. Automated C/CD pipelines. Integrate with AWS Code Pipeline for continuous integration and delivery, automating your build and deployment processes. Enhance security. Leverage AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) to control access to your repositories, ensuring that only authorized users can make changes. Code reviews and feedback. Use CodeCommit's pull request feature to facilitate code reviews, enabling your team to collaborate more effectively. Cost-effective storage. Benefit from AWS's pay-as-you-go pricing model, which scales with your usage without incurring significant upfront costs. Conclusion. Migrating from GitHub to AWS CodeCommit is a strategic move for organizations looking to enhance their development workflows while maintaining top-tier security. By following this roadmap, you can ensure a seamless transition and begin leveraging the full potential of AWS CodeCommit. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please share this podcast, visit our website and follow our social media links.